You know, every morning I have a pick-me-up that really sets me up for success. Now, I'm not going to try to sell you a branded line of coffee beans or convince you that my bulletproof coffee recipe is the right one, but a glass of water and the first coffee of the day really are a super way to get the day started. I absolutely love that morning ritual. But the thing that really gets me going and keeps me on the right track is my daily journaling practice. Let's talk about that, and I'll let you know how things went in week 12 of Welcome to week 12 of the Million Words Project. I'm Eric Sheridan Wyatt, and I've challenged myself to write 1 million new words in 12 months. Each week I post an update of my progress in the Million Words Challenge, and along the way, I share some of the ups and downs of my writing and creative life. Hopefully you'll find something here to help inspire or challenge you to pursue your own creative vision, or motivate you to pursue some meaningful and purposeful big thing project you've been putting off for far too long. If you'd like to know more about me or the Million Words Project, there are plenty of links in the show notes. But for now, let's get on with this week's update. Week 12 was a front-loaded week because my schedule for the weekend was taken with a 2-day trip to Tennessee to visit with a friend we haven't seen for about a year. I wanted to be sure to get my words in early, so I did a little bit of the Hemingway method. Famously, when Hemingway was in Key West or Cuba, he really didn't want to spend his time writing, he wanted to fish. So the story goes, he would trick himself into writing by setting a word goal and telling himself he could only go fishing once he'd met the goal for the day. Now, this sort of carrot and stick approach to creativity seems counterintuitive, but I found it can work under limited circumstances. For me, it doesn't usually work over a long period of time, but when there's a deadline or I've been finding it really hard to find internal motivation, I will sometimes rely on this method of encouraging myself to do the writing by rewarding myself with something once I hit the target. In this case, my carrot and stick were pretty simple. I had a new guitar arriving, and I told myself I would not unbox the guitar until I hit my goal on Tuesday, and I wouldn't play the guitar until I'd hit the goal on Wednesday. Pulling up the numbers for week 12, you can see the Hemingway method worked. The total new words written for the week were 22,045, and there was a nice distribution. I was a little heavy in the life document compared to the 6,000 or so words that I'm shooting for in that area. But if we switch over to the charts, you'll see that the percentage of the total words written that are in the life document category is now less than 50%. And fiction is slowly inching its way back towards a creatively balanced representation. The current total for 12 weeks is just about 254,000 words, which is about 14,000 words ahead of pace. And big news, 250,000 is another milestone as I've reached the 1/4 mark on the journey to 1 million words. Switching back to the category view, we see that the fiction total for the week was pretty healthy, and that was a good thing. Journaling came in just a little over 6,000 last week, which brings us to today's topic. Obviously, I take my journaling practice very seriously. This makes the third straight update in which I've talked about journaling, and it will probably be the last time journaling is a topic, at least for a little while. But I thought it might be helpful if I described my current practice in a little more detail. As I mentioned in an earlier video, my journaling output is one of the most consistent and accurate measures of my creative, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. If my journal week is averaging between 4,000 and 4,500 words in a week, I know that I'm in the normal stasis mode of life. There may be challenges or joyful things going on, but I'm dealing with it in a healthy way and things are progressing. If I go below 4,000 words in a week, that is a big red flag. And if it happens for more than 2 weeks in a row, it's time to reassess and ask myself some hard questions, because what is most likely happening if I am less than 4,000 words in my journaling practice is, number one, I'm not actually sitting down on a daily basis to journal. And number two, the reason for that is likely that I'm running away from some thought, emotion, feeling, or problem. There's something I don't want to face, and I'm avoiding the mirror of the journal page. Sometimes that's just simply that I've lost motivation or a sense of purpose in living this creative life. Sometimes it's because the outside world is intruding in ways that I've not yet figured out how to handle properly. There are many reasons to miss the healthy goal for 1 week, but only for 1 week. I know that if it becomes a regular thing, I need to figure out why and how to address it. On the other end of the spectrum, long journaling sessions tend to indicate one of two things. One, I'm in a period of deep creativity in which I'm having multiple revelations about my life, my work, my art, or some big question of existence. Or the other is that long journals can mean that I'm butting up against a deep life problem, but I'm using the journal as one of the ways to work on or through it. For the last 5 weeks, I've been averaging something like 6,000 to 7,000 words a week in my journal, and it's been a little bit of both of those scenarios. But before I blab on too much longer about how important it is for me to have a healthy journaling life, let's break down what I actually do during my journaling hour. If you didn't see the prior 2 videos on journaling, you might want to check those out for more information about why I think journaling is so important and some of the benefits it's had. But for now, let's talk about my journaling life. And that really took off in 2011 when I worked through Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way. It's a book I've read 3 times and have taught 12-week classes to groups of writers and would-be writers on 3 different occasions. And it's a classic. It's a really good book. The basic outline of morning pages, as Julia Cameron calls them, are pretty simple. Write in the morning before you do anything else. Write 3 pages in a journal. Write stream of consciousness or as close as possible. Even if you have to write, I have nothing to write, don't stop writing until you've filled 3 pages. Do not allow anything to distract you from the pages. Write your pages longhand in a journal that only you will ever see. And let me tell you, it's no understatement to say morning pages changed my life. For several years, my morning routine consisted of following Julia Cameron's rules of morning pages very closely, and it established an amazingly beneficial habit. However, I have over time loosened some of Julia Cameron's rules, and I've modified the morning pages to accomplish a few other things for me. Here's how I approach my modified morning pages, or the not at all original and certainly not patented Eric Wyatt's Make My Morning program. As alluded to in the opening teaser, I don't journal before anything else. I do make my first cup of coffee to enjoy while I'm writing. I also typically shoot for 6 days a week, not every single day. I do try to write stream of consciousness, but I'm not afraid of letting my pen rest. When I first started with Cameron's method, I stuck to the write even if all you have to say is I have nothing to write rule, and I know there's great value in doing that at times. However, I see my journaling as a way to dialogue with my subconscious, and sometimes it's okay for me to let a thought rest for a minute and then start writing again, because I'm writing whatever comes to mind, and I often write about my dreams from the night before, what I did the day before, etc. Then, as other thoughts or topics bubble up, I'll diverge from the mundane and follow those deeper thoughts. This is where the real juice of daily practice shows itself. Your subconscious will begin to draw out the things you really need to write about. This is where the revelations or inspirations or aha moments come to the surface, and that's a powerful tool to have at your disposal. Another way I deviate from the Cameron method is that I do sometimes allow myself to be distracted from the practice. Specifically, I will occasionally uncover a big issue topic that requires me to do an exclusive and hyper-focused separate writing session, and I will, from time to time, very rarely, but occasionally, stop journaling and do that writing out loud session right then. I will also some days return to the day's journal entry later in the day and add to what I had written earlier in the morning. I also sometimes return to that day's journal entry to add something from a reading or other source that pertains to what I've been journaling about. And finally, I've added 4 sections to my daily practice, each of which helps me prepare for the rest of the day. They're very short, and they only take about a minute to add to my journal, but they're very important to me. The first one is I write, "Today I will," And then I list the top 3 or 4 things that I am planning to accomplish from my current open loop task list. This lets me jump into the day with intentionality and purpose. Second, I write, today I am thankful for, and I list 3 things that I'm grateful for from the prior day. Each day I try to have 3 things that I haven't listed before, or at least haven't listed recently. Gratitude is an important part of keeping myself motivated and progressing toward my goals. Third, I write, today I am imagining, and then I list some aspect of my life going really well and I'm imagining keeping it going, or some aspect of life I'm imagining changing for the better, and maybe even some dream scenario that I hope to reach toward. For example, I may write, today I am imagining owning a retreat center where I can facilitate writing programs and offer a retreat atmosphere for other creatives. Or I might write something a little less grandiose, like, I am imagining being caught up on all the video editing for the Million Words Project. Finally, I close the daily entry out with this line, today I am asking for. Here, I petition God, the universe, synchronicity, or whatever sort of spiritual belief you may have, with a request for something that would benefit my life, but seems outside of my control. Now, like Julia Cameron, I am a big believer in the power of writing longhand, especially when it comes to the daily journal. There is a lot of evidence that writing longhand is very important. I use my iPad Pro and my Apple Pencil to write longhand into an app called Nebo, which translates my handwriting into a text document. This is the best of both worlds. I still write longhand, but I am given a text document instead of scribbles, and the program works pretty well. Also, like Julia Cameron, I believe it's essential that your daily pages be private and that you actually commit to writing exactly what you are thinking and feeling without self-censoring. For today's inspiration, let's hear from the Morning Pages champion herself, Julia Cameron. She says, writing is like breathing. It is possible to learn to do it well, but the point is to do it no matter what. Whatever your method of journaling is or may be, I hope you'll be inspired to approach the practice with consistency. Do it, no matter what. I wanted to share my method of maintaining a daily journaling practice, not because I think you should use my method, though you're more than welcome to. I share it because I believe strongly that no matter what you are hoping to accomplish with your life, a daily journaling practice will help you achieve those important things, help you live more intentionally, and will help you refill the reservoirs of purpose and meaning that propel us forward. If you already have a regular journaling practice, I'm going to challenge you to consider ways to improve or deepen what you are already doing. You may find you are satisfied with your current regime, or you may find some areas to tweak. Either way, it's good to think it over, or better yet, journal about it. If you're not a regular journaling aficionado, no worries. You can always start, and you can start small and ramp up, or you could just dive head first. And if you are unsure, I will suggest you do a writing out loud type exercise. Commit to writing longhand 3 pages about why you are doubtful about having a daily journaling practice. Maybe you'll convince yourself to start, or maybe you'll reaffirm your reluctance. Either way, you'll have an answer. And that is all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoy my videos, please like, subscribe, share, or engage in the comments section. It would mean a lot to me. And if you know someone you think would benefit from these videos, invite them to join us, won't you? Until next week, let me remind you, your words matter. Make them count.